Hey YouTube, if you have been watching this channel for a while now, you will know that I have covered Bloodhunt in the past. Bloodhunt is a new character-based battle royale, and in this video, I'll be conducting yet another review where I will be discussing everything the game has to offer, both good and bad, where it stands, and how it compares to other battle royale games such as Fortnite and Apex Legends. But before we do that, let's first give a quick overview of this new vampiric battle royale. Again, Bloodhunt is a character-based battle royale where players can choose between a wide range of different vampire clan members that each have their own unique offensive, defensive, and passive abilities, all of which have a variety of uses and promote different kinds of playstyles. The game takes place in a city called Prague, and much like other battle royale games, players will spawn with only a base weapon and must loot for better items and equipment in order to fare better when battling other players. Players can find various range weapons, melee weapons, and healing items in the form of blood bags and armor vests, and there are even locations that guarantee particular items in Prague, such as the pharmacy store for healing items, tailor store for ranged weapons, and antique stores for melee weapons. A red gas circle will also begin to close around the map at certain intervals, much like other battle royale games, which aims to force players closer together and eliminate those who are unfortunate enough to be caught in the gas's clutches for too long. There are various kinds of NPCs that populate Prague. One of two NPC types are the general population of Prague, which players can feed on to replenish their health, and many NPCs also offer special perks to players who feed on them. These perks include faster cooldowns on your abilities, extra melee damage, and much more. The other NPC types are the Entity that spawn in designated locations around Prague. The Entity is hostile to players and will engage in combat if you are spotted. However, Entity hotspots are a great place for finding high tier loot from chests, so be on the lookout when exploring these areas. What sets Bloodhunt apart from other battle royale games is the movement system. Players are able to scale buildings, wall jump, and even hover in the air, making the game quite fast-paced and fluid. Some of the unique features in Bloodhunt include the player's echolocation, which can be used to find loot and visualize audio, like gunshots, to get a better sense of where players are located, and also the automatic health regeneration when players are knocked down. Bloodhunt is free to play on Steam and PS5 for anyone who's interested in trying it out. Now, firstly, I have to say that the game looks fucking beautiful. Everything from the textures used, the superb lighting effects, to even the subtle particle effects make the game look absolutely stunning. I understand that graphics aren't the most important quality of a game, but you need to give credit where credit is due. Audio is also great, gunshots from weapons feel quite heavy, and the sound effects within the game are truly awesome to listen to. Directional sound is great, making it easy to understand which direction gunshots are coming from, and if a player is sprinting near you, it's pretty easy to tell exactly where they are. I also like the subtle interactions players have with the environment. For example, if a player lands on a car, there is a chance that you may set off the alarm and draw other players to your location. There are also instances where NPCs will get spooked by enemy players fleeing in the opposite direction. This again can be used to find out where enemies are located, giving you the time to prepare for an engagement. I also like the Diablo mechanic. Basically, when players are down, you have the option to eliminate them via a Delabro, a move where you essentially consume the player's blood. Not only is this a way to piss players off, but it also has the practical use of healing you and increasing your resonance slots, the perks you obtain from consuming various NPCs. But performing a Delabro is pretty risky as you are vulnerable whilst doing so, and it creates an audio cue which is pretty loud and can alert players to your location. The thing I love most about Bloodhunt is the movement. Like I said before, players are able to slide, scale walls, and use walls as leverage to jump off of, with players being largely unrestricted in their movement, and players being able to clamber basically any surface. It offers a plethora of flanking routes and playstyles to be adopted by players. I often find that utilising the high ground puts you at a significant advantage, as it makes it easier to land headshots on players that are below, whilst also allowing you to better survey surrounding areas. The movement is just so fluid overall, and I'd argue that Bloodhunt's movement system is far better than Apex Legends' movement system, because there's something about scaling buildings and wall jumping that makes this game so unbelievably fun to navigate. Another thing I like about Bloodhunt's movement is the ability to hover of sorts. Basically, when you are in midair and you aim down sight, your player will slowly descend as opposed to the normal descent you'd undergo when falling or jumping. This is a great mechanic that allows you to have better accuracy when engaging in players whilst you are in the air. The good thing about this mechanic is that you'll need to be cautious, because although it can make it easier to manage your accuracy, it also makes you an easier target. And speaking of gunfights, in this game combat is truly chaotic. With the crazy movement system the game has, players can flank from pretty much any direction, and players can utilise walls, jumps, clambers and slides in tangent with one another to evade enemy fire and better position themselves for engagements. There are an assortment of different weapons ranging from assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs and shotguns, and also sniper rifles, all of which have their own levels of rarity. Each weapon has their benefits and drawbacks. For example, shotguns pack a hell of a punch at close range, but are near useless from afar, whereas LMGs and assault rifles are perfect for mid to long range engagements, with the LMG having the added benefit of a large magazine for extra ammo capacity. The gunplay is actually pretty good. The kick of weapons like LMGs and shotguns are quite immersive, and the weapons themselves feel pretty balanced overall. The highlight of Bloodhunt, however, has to be the characters you can use. Players can pick between a wide range of characters that each have their own abilities. Some abilities are shared between characters that belong to the same archetype. So if you are queuing up with friends and your favourite character is taken, you can still choose the alternative that belongs to the same archetype and make use of the shared ability. The abilities are great and have a variety of different uses. My favourite character has to be the Vandal class, whose abilities are Soaring Leap, which is essentially a powered jump that allows you to cross insane distances, and the Ground Shock that allows you to leap and punch the ground, damaging and sending players upwards. All characters are free to use from the get-go, which is something that this game does better than Apex Legends, which uses new characters as an additional form of monetization. Abilities are also quite complex, and some can be used in tangent with the movement system to pull off some truly insane plays. Another thing this game does really well is adding a sense of progression. Games like Fortnite, Halo Infinite, and Apex Legends fail to add a sense of progression because, well, to put it simply, none of these games have an actual progression system. Bloodhunt, however, has a skill-like system for each character. Players can unlock different skills for the characters they play as, which really adds a sense of progression and rewards players for playing the game. Added elements like limited respawns for solos and automatic revives for down players after a certain time period are unique features, and the level of customization a player has over their character is truly insane. Bloodhunt is a truly unique take on the Battle Royale genre, and I'd argue that it's one of the most innovative takes there is on the marketplace. But that doesn't mean that the game is perfect. For starters, the respawn mechanic in solos needs a lot of work, and I mean a lot of work. Basically, in solos, players all have a single life, meaning that once they are eliminated, they get a second chance and respawn back into the map. However, 9 times out of 10, you will respawn relatively close to where you died previously, meaning that there is a high chance that you'll get picked off by the same guy again. This, paired with the fact that you spawn with no armor, no healing items, basically ensures your demise for a second time. It is incredibly frustrating to be eliminated, get a second chance, only to spawn right back where I died, and then get wiped out by the same guy, all because I was not given near enough time to better position myself. Right now, the respawn mechanic is borderline useless, and if a mechanic is useless, then it should not be in the game. Therefore, I believe that the respawn mechanic could definitely be tweaked by firstly, spawning the player further from where they died previously, and secondly, giving the player a free armor plate once they come back. This way players can actually get a second chance instead of dying immediately after respawning. The blood hunt mechanic could also be improved. Basically, if you feed on an NPC while another NPC is watching, fire a weapon at an NPC, or even use your abilities on an NPC, then you trigger a blood hunt, an event which reveals you to all enemy players for a short duration of time. The reason for this is that basically you've broken some kind of vampire law that puts the vampire's existence in jeopardy, and essentially you now have some kind of bounty on your head. Now this mechanic isn't all too bad, but the main problem is that some NPCs look exactly like players, and so you might shoot an NPC only to trigger a blood hunt. It would also be nice for players to be able to switch to a different weapon when climbing buildings. Let's say I have an assault rifle and a shotgun as my secondary, and I currently have my assault rifle equipped. If I am scaling a building, then I am unable to switch to my shotgun. Being able to switch weapons whilst climbing will allow players to pull out their desired weapon when they are finished scaling walls. And little details like this could just make the game just so much more fluid and less clunky. Overall, Bloodhunt is actually a great game. The gameplay is pretty nice overall, and the developers did a good job not only innovating the Battle Royale formula, but also succeeding in creating a game that delivers features that other Battle Royale games are lacking, with subtle additions such as the ability to switch weapons whilst clambering and fixing the respawn system in solos. I could definitely see this game improving in quality. What do you guys think of Bloodhunt? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as I draw this video to a close, I'd like to invite you guys to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you are new, as well as turn on post notifications so that you never miss a video just like this one. Make sure you stick around for the outro and check out some of my other videos, I'd really appreciate it. But that is all the time we have for today, so make sure you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.